Hi everyone, Redneck Computer Geek here. Sorry for being topless in this video. It's because it's absolutely cranking in here. We got the little wood stove going. As you can see, it's about 15 degrees Fahrenheit outside right now. And I wanted to answer one of the number one questions that I end up getting asked. And usually it's, you got two people, me. Say hi, John.
Hi.
And John. Living in a very small, confined space. How do you avoid killing each other? And being a parent with a child in a very small space. I mean, the living room slash my bedroom area here is about 12 foot by 12 foot. Then you've got the upstairs that John has pretty much to himself for the most part, but it's also storage for summer clothing, all the other little things that you don't need this time of year and stuff like that. So he pretty much just has his tent upstairs, which is 6 by 8, I believe it is. And he's got a twin size mattress in there that takes up part of it. So how do we keep from killing each other? And the real answer to that is that I work under the idea of time management. Um, Anytime that it is about, 30 degrees or more outside, I usually send John out in order to go and have about an hour of playtime. The thing is I don't think that it's fair as a parent to use him being out there for playtime as my playtime. What I do is I work on dishes, or I work on laundry, or I work on sorting food, or I work on getting all the wood stacked, or things like that. Especially this time of year where it's cold. So he doesn't really want to be outside freezing, but you need to go and get all that cleaning done. And it's a lot easier to do that cleaning during the hour of him being outside. The other thing that I recommend is finding little things that you can do in increments. And increments are the big thing. You want to be able to mix up your day. For example, I have this old S7 cell phone. And the big thing that I've had to go and learn off grid is to beta test every game that's on the cell phone and make sure that it does not require having an internet connection. And I'm not saying electronic devices are the way that you should babysit. Catch that point. Electronic devices are not babysitters. Time management is key. We load audiobooks on them. We load games that I beta test before John ever touches it to make sure that they actually work without the internet. I allow him to go and take his own photos if he wants, which gives him another alternative to work on. I also let him take photos that he would like to go and send to his mom or something like that. It allows him an interaction that he gets. The other thing is games. So something like, and the other thing is I try and keep games to games that fit on something like this. I keep the games to something that doesn't take a full-size table. We keep it to games where you can play and not have to take up hall of a room. Things like good old-fashioned dominoes. Parenting tip, get the dominoes that have colors. It means that even if the child isn't very good at numbers, they can at least match colors. It's a pretty easy concept. Games like dominoes, Connect Four, checkers. If the child is older, chess. You're keeping it to games that you can play within a little small 2-foot area so that way you can set it on the bed and be able to play back and forth while you're sitting next to a nice warm wood stove. The other thing is activities. Finding activities like, say, carving soap. Carving soap, but doing it in a container that you can burn afterwards, or doing something that afterwards helps you with burning. So, for example, we let John carve up candles. And if you take candles afterwards and you melt them down once they're in tiny little pieces, you put some wood shavings into egg cartons. After you're done with the eggs, you break them up, and they make perfect little fire starters. Don't believe me? Make a few on your own. I guarantee it. Contrary to popular belief, as much as people have been yelling at me about it, you can burn down wax on a propane stovetop. Just don't be an idiot and leave it unattended. Yes, wax is flammable. Propane is a flame. Don't be an idiot and let it boil over, and you're perfectly fine. The other thing that we do here is I allow John to try off-grid Jell-O. Here's another one of those hints. And keep in mind, you're thinking about repurposing items that you're going to have anyway. So, inevitably, we have to do our water off-grid. So, the neat trick that I have learned at this point is the bottom pan here. Yes, I word it as a pan. Now you get where I'm thinking? If you take that bottom edge and you cut it around that bottom edge, all of a sudden you end up with a watertight pan, and it will hold boiling water. So one of those bottom pans holds 2 boxes of Jell-O. So this time of year, out in the freezing cold, like so, you have below 30 degrees, which means the outside air is good enough to go and make Jell-O in about a 2-hour time span. So I cut the bottoms off and I make Jell-O out of them. And then what I do with the other half is I use it to store kindling. Or I use it to store tools, or I use it to store any other of a bunch of different items. And I oftentimes store the kindling and stuff like that in something that is burnable or recyclable. That's the other thing about those plastic containers. If you have the recycle capability in your area, they recycle. It's that simple. Let me see, other little things. Radio. I've said this before, and I'll point it out again. I really love this little radio. It is crank. It is battery powered. It has got a lithium battery on the inside of it, and in an emergency, it's got a phone charger built into it, and it'll charge off of any regular USB port. And that's another thing. You want to pick up things that work off of AA batteries that you can charge off of your little solar system here. I mean, I've only got a 25-watt solar panel outside, and it's not even actually positioned correctly. It really should be on the other end of the cabin. It gets the morning sun through to about noontime. So really it should actually be over on the other side of the other corner of the cabin. But that's enough sunlight in a day for me to be able to charge my cell phone twice, the Play cell phone usually twice, and that's probably about 6 hours worth of audiobook time. That's probably about 2.5 to 3 hours worth of play time for him. The battery in the S3 is dying, so it's a little bit shorter than it really ought to be. But those are just ideas. Now, down below, feel free to get into the comments if this is posted on Facebook. And if this is on YouTube, I'm sorry my comments are turned off. It was not my choice. Unfortunately, because I like to go and have my child in my videos, YouTube and their fun little algorithms cut off my stuff. Do some Googling on it. It'll really tick you off about YouTube. But, there we are. I hope that you guys will share down in the comments some of your ideas for your small home living with a child for keeping them busy during the winter holidays. And enjoy yourselves.